Shalom, shalom. So before we get this lesson started, we're going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim HaKadosh, and we're going to give all glory, our double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom we learn from. Shalom. To the hopefully elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth. This is your brother to the four corners of the earth, inviting the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Adah on a lesson on the war in heaven, the Satan in the war of heaven, and the Lucifer in Isaiah 14 is speaking about the same event in history, which is futuristic. It's very close in the near future. It is not in the past. And it is not depicting the so-called fall of the prince demon Satan, who is seated at the left-hand side of Yahweh. None of the Elohim on the right hand or on the left hand ever fall. They are permanently in their position. None of them are judged for sin. They all carry out, all the right-handed angels, all the right-handed powers, all the right-handed Elohim carry out the right-handed expression of Yahweh, and all of the left-handed Elohim, all of the left-handed angels, they carry out the left-handed expression of Yahweh. Therefore, they are not in transgression when they are sent. And only under the sun, let's get that real quick. Under the place under the sun is the place of judgment. And whose dwelling is that? That's the dwelling of men. Flesh, men live under the sun, so it is men who are judged. The left-handed and the right-handed Elohim are able to come to the place under the sun, but they don't dwell here. They are seated. They are permanently seated at the right and left-hand side of Yahweh. Therefore, judgment never reaches them. See, this is the misunderstanding of Scripture. Let's go and pull it. The place under the sun. Salakia. It's Sunday, so I had a couple hours of rest today. And freaking, not because it's Sunday, just because it was Sunday. Because the Sabbath follows the new moon. It's not Sunday. The place, it's in Ecclesiastes. The place under the sun. Under the sun. Let me see, the place under, damn it, let me see, judgment. And I saw that judgment took place under the sun. Under the sun, let me see, I'm paraphrasing. It's in Ecclesiastes. This is, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So this is the Spirit speaking through King Solomon, the son of David. Ban Malak Dawadah. All right, the son of King David. By the Spirit of the living God, he's the most wise king that ever lived out of all the kings of Yasharallah. All right, and this is what he writes. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So judgment takes place on the earth. All right, we understand that reincarnation is real too. You die, you go up, you get your judgment, you come back down 3 or 4 generations later, and you live out your judgment, okay, on the earth. Okay? Look at this. Madness.
Before the first dawn, before the fall of man, there was a war in heaven.
And the fact that you're seeing so-called Edomite-looking angels, Edomite-looking Adam and Eve's, all of it. This is all in the scriptures, that this race of people would do this shit, that they would cover the faces of the judges, that they would change everything and deceive the world with a false version and misunderstanding of what the scriptures are actually teaching.
A rebellion that shook the very foundations of eternity.
See, his name is Yahweh. It's not Jehovah.
From the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee, thy heart is and splendor. Why should the hosts bow before you, when they could bow before me? I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
They keep showing you Edomite people. And the scriptures tell you that Yahweh looks like a jasper and a sardine stone, and that his son, Yahweh Shai, looks like burnished brass, which both of them are super dark-skinned creatures, and they have woolly hair. That's not what you see here, though. But Job 9:24 said they would do this. That's a quote from Yahweh Shai in the New Testament, talking about the Roman Empire, which is talking about the Edomites.
Lucifer, the arch enemy of God and man. Lucifer, our dark brother. He was an...
So we're gonna get out of this madness, and look, we're gonna pull these precepts. So we got Revelation 8. Actually, we're going to go to Revelation. Let's go here. I'm going to pull this stuff up. Revelation 12. We're going to go into Revelation 12, right? Revelation 12, the war in heaven. Okay? Starting at verse 7. The angel Michael, and there was war in heaven. What is this talking about? So you got to understand now, we got to stop right here. The war in heaven is talking about the war for rulership on the earth. Heaven has 3 different meanings in the scriptures, and you have to rightfully divide which heaven is being spoken about. And this particular heaven is not talking about the throne room of the Most High. And this particular heaven is also not talking about literally the outer space or the atmosphere. It's talking about the position of rulership that Satan holds. And this Satan is talking about the dragon, is talking about the serpent, is talking about the devil, who is the nation of Edom in this context. You have to understand this. Okay? The war in heaven with Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and he prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Now, how do we prove that that's what this is talking about? We got to jump back. This is how you read precept upon precept, okay? Line upon line. Here a little, there a little. You got to go to Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1. Look, read it. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion? Is this talking about a girl? No, it's talking about the rulership of the Israelites. And Zion, right, is the city of David. It's the temple. It's the bodies. It's the rulership. It's the elder men, because men are the headship of every nation. It's your prophets, your men, your captains of 50, your captains of hundreds, and your captains of thousands, right? It's your king, it's your priests. That's who the daughter of Zion is in this context. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel? Was Israel physically in heaven? No, but when this prophecy was being prophesied by Jeremiah, Israel was in rulership on the earth. They were in their sovereignty. That's what this is talking about. And then being cast down from heaven unto the earth, another nation is about to take them over. Another nation is about to rule over them, and that's going to be them in the dust. It's the same verbiage. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. So this is punishment. And he is the God, the Most High is the God that raises one up and brings down another. We see that in Daniel. So whenever you go to the book of Daniel, look, go to Daniel, Daniel, and you go to chapter 2, right? And you hear about these four beast systems that are in this dream, in this body, right? He has a dream. Nebuchadnezzar has a dream that he can't remember, and he asked the wise men of his nation to interpret the dream that he can't even remember, and they can't. So he's about to kill all of the wise men, and Daniel prays, and Yahweh gives him the download. Then Daniel answered, and with counsel and wisdom, to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went into his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the power of heaven concerning this a secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men in Babylon. Then the Most High gives them the understanding, right? And then the Most High explains, but there is a God in heaven. He explains it to Daniel. Daniel goes before the king, and Daniel explains everything. Okay, but as for look, verse 30, but as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes, that they shall be made known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breasts and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part clay. All of these right here are different rulerships and different races of people that would fall from heaven when the next rulership would come into power. When you're dealing with rulership on the earth, that is called heaven. So the head of gold was Babylon. When Babylon fell to the Medes and Persians, Babylon fell from heaven, and the Medes and Persians took over that rulership of heaven on the earth. When the Medes and Persians fell to Greece, to Alexander the Great, the Medes and Persians fell from heaven, and Alexander the Great and his four commanders took over. When Alexander fell from heaven to Rome, Rome took that position. And Rome has been in that position for quite a while. They had a 1,000-year break. That's the deadly wound that was healed. And now we are in the toes. That is partly clay and partly iron. Those 10 toes, that's your NATO and the EU. And we're in the revised Roman Empire, which is America, that little horn. And now that little horn, which is the final leg of Rome, is about to fall from heaven. And that's what you see here in Revelation 12. And in Isaiah 14. That is what this is fucking talking about. Isaiah 14, O Lucifer, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation? It's the exact same verbiage you see in Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1, concerning when Israel fell from heaven. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. It's the same. The daughter of Zion is a lyrical nickname for the rulership of Israel, and Lucifer is a lyrical nickname for the rulership of Edom. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Lucifer doesn't mean Satan, who sits on the left hand side of the Most High. Lucifer means angel of light or light bearer, talking about the upper 1% echelon rulership of the Edomites, who are also called the beauty of the Chaldeans. The beauty, watch, the excellent of the beauty of the Chaldeans. I don't know if I want to use the blue letter to try to find it. Let me try it. The beauty of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans. Let me see if that pulls it up. Nope, because you got to get it exactly right. Here, look. Now watch this, you guys. You got to see this. The beauty, the excellency. Okay, the excellency, the excellency of the Chaldeans. This is top. And who are the Chaldeans? Okay, look at this. And Babylon, talking about mystery Babylon the Great, talking about America, talking about the Edomites, the so-called white man who established America and Babylon. The glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. There goes your, O Lucifer, how art thou fallen? It's all connected. Who are the Chaldees, you guys? The Chaldees are your real deal, blood drinking, human sacrificing, real authentic gangster witches. These are your real deal witches. Now go into how America was established. When you look at George Washington, he was like fucking 20 years old. Let me see. Washington, D.C. Washington from the sky. Look at this. Okay, what do you see? This was established in the 1800s, you guys. There were no computers. There were no helicopters. There were no airplanes. How did he do this? George Washington and this other Edomite white Freemason dude, I don't know his name, they laid out the streets like this in Washington, D.C. before there were airplanes. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? It's talking about them. This is the excellency of the beauty of the Chaldeans. You don't build stuff like this. You don't know how to map shit out like this, right? You don't know how to do this unless you've been brought up in it. He was like in his early fucking 20s when he was establishing all this shit, right before he became president. He was a fucking young man, dude. You don't just do stuff like this, you guys. And this is the race of people that established this nation. And we were slaves when they were doing this. And they were telling the people what? That we were black or African American and that they were white. Right? So look, go back. We got to get out of here. Let's go back. So this nickname, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, talking about the ICBM missiles that are going to come and blow up America during Yahweh Shabbat. All of these precepts line up. And the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency lines up with Esau, the so-called white man, the upper echelons, the guys like Washington, George Washington, and the banking families, the Amalekites, because they all traffic in blood, you guys. They got to do human sacrifice and weird sexual fucking things in order to get the information they do get from the real prince demon Satan. But this is not talking, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? This is not talking about the prince demon Satan. It's talking about the race of people who are in rulership right now, and it's talking about their priesthood, the elect of them. Just like there's an elect of Israel, you see all the men on the streets teaching Yahweh Shai, teaching Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and they're breaking down the scriptures correctly. But all Israelites aren't doing that. Same thing with the Edomites. You have all the Edomites, but there's a specific group of Edomites who are operating in the power. You know, they're operating in the occultic power. That's who this Lucifer is. They're the rulership of the Edomites. This is not talking about the devil. So once you understand that Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, Look, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Once you understand that you can precept that to this, Lamentations 2:1, and you can see when the Israelites fell, and how art thou covered? How hast thou covered the daughter of Zion? And you see these nicknames, these spiritual, poetic nicknames being used for both rulerships in two separate nations and two separate races of people. You can see the pattern of how the Most High speaks. It's not a long shot to realize that the daughter of Zion is talking about the rulership, the group of men in Israel, as well as Lucifer is talking about the rulership of the group of men in Esau, Edom. That's what this is talking about, man. So once you understand that, then you understand that rulership for a nation on the earth is likened unto heaven. And if you are falling from heaven, that means you are having your rulership taken from you and it's being given to somebody else for a period of time. That's what this is talking about. Once you understand that, there is no this. This is all bullshit. This bullshit that you see with these motherfuckers claiming that Satan fell, that he's fighting the Most High. This is a distraction. Because what does this do? This belief
Before the
system,
first winner before the first dawn.
this belief system hides who Esau, Edom is as a race of people on the earth, because everybody thinks that only the bad stuff that's happening on the earth is happening because of this false doctrine about the actual satanic spirit, Satan. Because Satan is seated, the real prince demon Satan is seated on the left-hand side of the Most High Yahweh, and he is the left-handed expression of Yahweh, and he's not fighting Yahweh Shai. He's not fighting the Most High for the throne room. He's perfectly comfortable where he is at on the left-hand side of the Most High. You have to understand that there is a race of people on the earth that are being used to fight the Most High, but it's not Satan. And the Most High sends Satan to give those people all the information they need to fulfill prophecy. And these are the precepts. We're going to get the precepts. Look. So Revelations 12 and Isaiah 14 prove that Isaiah 14 and Revelations 12 prove that the devil or the dragon in Revelations 12 and the Lucifer in Isaiah 14 is talking about Esau, Edom. And Esau, Edom would deceive the whole world, like it says in Revelations 12. Neither was there found place anymore in heaven. Let's get it real quick. The deception that the devil would do. Let me see. Okay. And he brought forth a man and the woman. Okay. And there was war in heaven. Okay. So look at this. Okay. So verse 9. But I want to read verses 7 to 9. And there was war in heaven. This is going to happen in the future. This is the battle of Armageddon, okay? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, all kinds of stuff. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. We understand that this dragon is talking about the Roman Empire, which would make America. America is that revised Roman Empire, and Esau, Edom is the one race of people, along with the Russians, who keep going up into outer space, right? They have all their satellites up in outer space, and they have a space program, and they're the one race of people who will not tell you the truth about the UFOs, who are the chariots, which is the military force of heaven. They're the same race of people telling you all these lies. Look at verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. This is not talking about, again, this is not talking about Satan, the devil, sitting on the right hand, the left hand of the Most High. This is talking about the so-called white man. How has he deceived the whole world? Look what the scriptures say. Go to Job 9:24. We're going to go to Job 9:24. Look at this. You go to Job 9:24, and what does it say? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who is he? And we know by Daniel chapter 2 and Daniel chapter 9 that the fourth beast that would rule the earth, right, is both called the dragon or the Roman Empire and the eagle in 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And we also know that Obadiah is directed at Esau, Edom, and he is also called the eagle in Obadiah. So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and we know that the so-called white man is in rulership right now, right? And he covers the faces of the judges. What does this mean? This is the iconoclasm. This is the whitewashing of the image of God, his son, the angels, and the saints. Because the Bible specifically tells you, let's prove that it's this race. What does it say in Revelations 4? And so look, verse 3. And he that sat, talking about the Most High. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Who's that one? The Most High. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. Stop right there. What does a jasper and a sardine stone look like? We're going to pull it up. What does a jasper stone and sardine? Jasper stone. What color do you see? What color? Who matches this? Is that the color of a so-called white person? Or if you put that next to a so-called black man or a black woman's arm, would it match? Yes, it fucking would. That's the color of mud. That is a brown color. You see the color of the palm, and that's the color, that's a pinkish, reddish hue on white people's hands, and their skin is the same as their palms, and there's no match there, you guys. Okay, let's do a fucking sardine stone. You have to do this shit to prove the fucking point. It's like every precept lines up. It's like literally the so-called white race is, see, look, this is some, there you go. Revelations 4, 2 and 3. Behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. You see it. You see the match right there. See, people get pissed off when you show this, but this is what it says. Jasper and sardine stone matches that complexion. Yeah, but what have we seen? We've seen nothing but white images of Yahushua, the Most High, and the angels, which lines up with what it said. So we see right here, Revelations 4 shows you what the judges look like, because the Most High is the judge, his Son is the judge, and his people are the judges because they were given the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what makes you a judge, knowledge of the law. And the only people who were given the law were the Israelites, and I can prove that right here in Psalms. Psalms 147. Look at this, 147, verses 19 and 20. What does it say, you guys? You see it. He showeth his word to Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. See, we're proving all of our points by showing you the precepts. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. So we are the judges. The 12 tribes of Israel are the judges. And when you go back to Job, it says what? It says that these bastards, Job 9 and 24, this is a prophecy identifying the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. How do we know that Esau is the wicked? I'm going to pull that precept to show you that too. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covers the faces of the judges. The judges are identified in Psalms 147, verses 19 and 20. He shows his word to Jacob and his statutes to Israel. He has not done so with any other nation. Therefore, that race of people are the judges. The Bible tells you that the Most High looks like a jasper and a sardine stone. Those are dark-skinned stones. Those are melanated-looking stones. We see, but what color do you see God? What color do you see? What color? Let's look it up. Let me see. God. Look. What do you fucking see? What do you see? You see, how come you don't see Chinese people? How come you don't see Africans? How come you don't see Hindus? Why do you see fucking white people? Because that's the race of people that this said. This right here, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covers the faces of the judges. How would he cover the face? By changing the way they look. He made God look like him. And then this is what the scriptures say. Let's go. Let's get the precept. It's Malachi 1-4. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Remember that word wicked. Now we're going to go into Malachi 1:4. We'll start at 3. And I have hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. What is a border, you guys? The border is what identifies or separates a nation from all the other nations. The border is the beginning of a nation, right? The border is its identifying point. So Esau or Edom is called wickedness. They are the wicked nation. That's what that means. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, or the nation of wickedness, or the wicked, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So what has Western Renaissance Christianity told the world? And who spread Western Renaissance Christianity? Let's get a picture. Billy Graham. Billy Graham. What does he look like? Well, you see it. What is he? He's an Edomite. And what did he say? What did Billy Graham say? He said God loved everybody. But the Bible says God hates the Edomites, and that the Most High, the God of the Bible, is mad or has indignation towards them forever. Yet this same race of people told you that they were white. They didn't tell you anything about Esau. You never heard Billy Graham ever teach on who Esau Edom was. Yet he was on every TV station, on every radio station, in every fucking stadium, preaching white Jesus and saying that white Jesus loved everybody. You see how this works? This goes into them deceiving the world. This goes into the dragon in Revelations 12, deceiving the world. You see how everything keeps lining up? Nothing that they have said so far has lined up with anything that we are showing you in Scripture. Okay, nothing. Let's go again. Let's do another one. Obadiah 1-4. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Obadiah 1-4. So here goes Edom, the border of wickedness, the race of people that the Most High would have indignation forever. And then let's go into Obadiah. Again, one chapter. These are one. I never heard of these precepts when I was a Christian. Behold, I have made these small among the heathen. The global population of the so-called white man is about 6 to 8% compared to the rest of the planet. And yet they control everything. They're not even 10% of the population of the earth, you guys. And the majority of that population is found here in America. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see that? Remember Lucifer, how art thou fallen and cut down? Remember the daughter of Zion, how art thou cut down to the ground? This is a statement. How are we ever going to fall as a rulership? This goes back to that statement of heaven, falling from heaven. This is connected to that. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, from thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. Who's been going up into saying that they've been going to the moon? Who's launching rockets every day, trying to get past the firmament? Who's got satellites up in the sky? The so-called white men. And this is directed solely at them. Okay, so you need to understand that the Satan mentioned in Revelations, or the dragon mentioned in Revelations 12, and the Lucifer spoken about in Isaiah 14 is talking about these people. It's not talking about the devil. Yes, the devil is real, but he's not fighting the Most High like we've been led to think. That doctrine, that deceptive teaching, hides who Esau Edom is in the earth. That's why that's why the prophecy says this: Esau shall no longer be able to see it. Already was ready to pull it up. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. Look, Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. What are his secret places? That he's white, that he's a Christian, that he's an American, that he's God's chosen people, that God is white, and that Satan, the prince demon spirit, is the one that's fighting the Most High and the reason for all the bad things on the earth, when it's really him. It's the so-called white man. Esau is the reason for all. Satan is not spraying the sky with aluminum, you guys. The white man's doing that. Satan, the prince demon spirit, is not GMOing all the seeds and all the food. Esau's doing that, the so-called white man. Satan didn't have the Hebrew Israelites in slavery for 350 years. The so-called white man did that. Satan did not drop the atomic bomb on Japan. The so-called white man did that. Satan is not provoking Russia in World War III right now. The so-called white man is doing that. Satan didn't he didn't bomb the Nord Stream pipeline. The so-called white man did. Satan doesn't own all the prison systems right now in America. So-called white man does, you guys. Satan is not deporting all of these fucking migrants and immigrants in America using the lie of MS-13 and sending people to fucking Guantanamo Bay and the prison over there in South America. So-called white man's doing that, you guys. Jeremiah 49:10 says what it says for a reason. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Why does it say that? Because all this time he has been hiding himself. He has been hiding himself under the alias of white, American, Christian, moral, good guy, rich man, all these good titles. He tells you the best versions of himself on the media, in the movies. He's always the hero. In all the superhero movies, he's the hero. He's going to save the day. I mean, even Donald Trump right now is coming masquerading as a savior, and he's losing popularity in droves because everybody's finally looking at his actions and they can see that he's only doing the work of the elites, plus it's prophecy. White America is realizing, damn, they can't trust their own people. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So remember, the Lucifer, okay? The Lucifer and the dragon in Revelations 12, and the Lucifer in Isaiah 14 is not talking about Satan. It's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Let's read Isaiah 14 in its entirety. Look at this. When you just read it, when you start at verse 12, look, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Is Satan, the actual demon, weakening the nations? Or is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, weakening the nations with him? He's putting fucking sanctions on everybody. I mean, who's putting tariffs on everyone right now? Is Satan doing that, or is Donald Trump doing that? And then what's it doing? It's fucking weakening everybody's fucking economy. That's not the devil. It's the devil, but it's the so-called white man that's the devil, not the actual prince demon Satan. You guys have to fucking understand this. The way that they're playing with the money. In fact, they are bringing down America's independence so that they can go digital and so they can go global. Is Satan doing that, or is it the so-called white man? You got to come to terms with this shit. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. That's talking about the rulership on the earth. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. The stars of God is talking about the true 12 tribes of Israel. And they did that with the 1948 Balfour Declaration while we were still coming out of slavery. They have also renamed us as black, monkeys, 3/5 of a human, African American, Latino, Native Americans. That goes into the covering that has been cast over the nation, mentioned in Isaiah 25 verse 7. Okay? That's what that is. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. This is talking about North America when they would pull this off. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And with his technology, with his media, with his banking system, with his control of everything, people have viewed the so-called white man like he is God. And with him making the image of God into a white man, and with him exalting all these Christian Edomite men preaching a false gospel, which you cannot find the backings for any of the stuff that they're saying, once you actually break down scripture, people have been viewing this race of people like they're God. Look at verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Hell is a bad situation on the earth. They that see thee, when we finally see these people for what they are, just like in the movie Wizard of Oz, we see them behind the curtain. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Is Satan the prince demon spirit? Is he a man or is he a spirit? This is talking about a human being right here, you guys. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? And when you go into the CIA and the FBI and all those alphabet systems that are ran by Edomites, and you go into Africa and the Middle East, and when you come into America and you go into, even with the Black Panther Party and all the shit, COINTELPRO, you see that all the coups, all the assassinations, all of the fucking resources in other countries, gold, oil, when the so-called white man wanted to go into those countries and get that shit, he would send in the CIA or the FBI, and they would go and assassinate the fucking leader and put up a puppet that would do whatever they would say, and the so-called white man would extract all of the natural resources out of that country. That is what this is talking about, man. Satan didn't do that. The so-called white man did that. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. And once you finally see the so-called white man for what he is, you narrowly look upon them, because now the veil is lifted. And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? Who is the number one owner of all the prison systems on the planet or in America? The so-called white man. They have the biggest prison. They have the biggest industrial prison complex in the world. It's here in America. And they have more prisoners in that system than all the other nations combined. All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of a house that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renewed. Look at this. Prepare slaughter for his children. Does Satan have children? This is talking about a race of people, you guys. This is talking about a race of people who have offspring. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So this is still going into who Lucifer is, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name of the remnant and the son and the nephew, saith the Lord. Why is he going to cut off the name of the son and the nephew? Because when you destroy the men of any nation, you destroy their ability to reproduce their nation on the earth, because the nation is in the seed or the sperm or the nutsack of the boys of that nation. That's why. So this is not talking. So the Lucifer mentioned, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? It's talking about a race of people, you guys. And the Most High is talking about cutting off his fucking seed line. Right here. For I will raise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction that goes into your ICBM missiles that's coming to America, saith Yahweh of hosts. You want some more? The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break the Assyrian. It's talking about a race, you guys. So people misunderstand this, and because people don't understand the scriptures, they've been able to create this entire bullshit belief system of Satan falling from heaven. Like you see in this you see it in rock videos, you see it in cartoons, you see it in movies, that there's this so-called white-looking man devil that was fighting the Most High. He was the art director of heaven, and he's on the earth now fighting Yahweh, while the white man is doing all the shit that we just showed you he's doing, but everybody's focused on the so-called devil and not the white man. The belief system of Lucifer being Satan and the belief system of Satan or the dragon in Revelations 12 falling from heaven directly covers what Esau Edom is, the so-called white man. It hides who he is. It takes the focus off of the so-called white man. And it's because if you look at Christianity, all they're doing is what? They're talking about the devil, hypothetically. They're talking about this. They're always binding the devil. You got to bind the devil. You got to bind the devil. Yet the white man is running around the whole planet Earth, literally destroying the planet. Dude, the white elite rulership is the one bringing about the MOTB right in front of everybody's face. Yet white Christianity is talking about the so-called devil. Yet every time you turn TV on, you see Bill Gates, you see Elon Musk, you see the other guy. Human beings are hackable. You see all these Edomite men and women talking about the digital currency and the chip, and everyone's looking right at the man of sin. They're looking literally at the so-called Antichrist, but they're waiting for this individual Antichrist, and they're talking about the prince demon Satan, not realizing that that's talking about Esau Edom. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakagodash, and I want to give double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great most of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopeful elect men taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Adah. Shalom.